Hola amigos, Dr. Lebrun aquí. Hello friends, Dr. Lebrun here. Today we're going to take a look at some instructions that you can use with your workforce on the job site in the construction industry. So we'll take a look at some terms that we can use, some verbs, and then how we can put them into phrases that you can actually use. Alright, vamos a empezar. Alright, so there's different instructions, directions, things like that we'll take a look at to get started. So, derecho, straight. A la derecha, to the right. Now notice how similar these words are. They can be kind of tricky, but derecho, straight, a la derecha, to the right. Sometimes if there's adjectives involved, they might be a little bit interchangeable, so be careful with those first two. A la izquierda, to the left. Arriba, up. Abajo, down. Some of you heard Speedy Gonzalez say, andale, andale, arriba, arriba. So it's saying, get moving, up, up. All right, en el centro, in the center, and centro can also mean the center of a city, could also be the downtown area. All right, en el medio, in the middle. Think of the median that's in the middle of the road, or mediodía could be midday or noon. All right, these ones are pretty similar when they're written out, but the pronunciation could be a little bit different between the languages. So listen closely here. Vertical, vertical. So the V I pronounce with a B. A B sound is in boy. Vertical, vertical. Horizontal, horizontal. Diagonal, diagonal. So you already know a lot of words between the two languages. You might not know that, but the pronunciation can be a little bit different. It can be a little bit tricky. All right, el nivel, the level or the height of something, and aplomo, plumb. Another way to say that it's level, and similar. It's coming from the word for lead, and lead has to do with the plumbing that was originally used. Hopefully we don't use too much lead in the plumbing anymore, but those words are related between the languages that way, or based on Latin. All right, cerca, near, lejos, far. Norte, north, sur, south. Este, east, oeste, west. Again, those words are pretty similar. Be careful with those ones. Atrás, back. Adelante, forward. All right, then let's take a look at some verbs, and we'll take a look at how we can put these into some sentences as well. But cortar, to cut. Dejar, to leave or let be. Usar, to use. Mantener, to maintain. Ir, to go, or you can be using it to saying going to do something. Ayudar, to help. And caer, to fall. So if I want to give somebody instructions on how to do something, with the AR verbs, it's pretty simple. Just drop that R, and that's giving them a command to do something. Corta, deja, usa, ayuda. Some of the other ones are a little bit irregular, and maybe take a look at those a little bit in depth, but the AR ones are pretty simple. All right, here we got a few more AR verbs and some other verbs as well. But tomar, to take. Okay, llevar is a really useful verb because it can mean three different things, but with that being said, it can also be a little bit tricky as well. We'll take a look at how to use that. All right, so llevar, to wear, to carry, or to bring. Hacer, to make or to do. Poner, to put, or ponerse, to put on, as in clothing. Tener, to have. Limpiar, to clean. And mirar, to look or to watch. Again, those AR verbs are pretty simple to work with. Just drop that R and that you're going to be telling something to do something. Toma, lleva, limpia, mira. Some of the other ones are a little bit irregular, like hacer and poner and tener. All right, a few more verbs here. Medir, to measure. Necesitar, to need. Poder, to be able to or can. Trabajar, to work. Mover, to move. Parar, to stop. Atar, to tie. Okay, so one kind of trick that we can do here is we can take this verb necesitar, and since it ends in AR, we can make that into a command, or you could just say you need, and that will just end in AS. Instead of commanding to somebody something, you can just say you need. So necesitas. And then I could take any of these other verbs, and then I don't need to worry about conjugating or changing that second verb. So I can say necesitas medir, you need to measure. Or necesitas poder, you need to be able to. Might sound a bit funny, but or necesitas trabajar, you need to work. Necesitas mover, and then some of those other instructions, which way do they need to go? To the left, to the right, forward, backward, north, south. Necesitas mover. Necesitas parar, you need to stop. Necesitas atar, you need to tie. Okay, so you can kind of combine some of those verbs and make it a little bit simple for you. All right, then just keep in mind, sometimes people coming from different countries might be using the metric system. Here in the US, we're using the standard system. Can be a little bit confusion that way, but it's not too tricky. And again, can look these up in the internet as well. But 1 inch or una pulgada is 2.54 centimetros. And again, if you're not so familiar with the numbers in Spanish, I'll put a link up here to I'll put a link right there. I'll put a link right there for the numbers where you can go back and practice. But anyways, un metro 3.28 pies, 3.28 feet is 1 meter. Un kilómetro is 0.61 millas, or 1 kilometer is 0.61 miles. And temperature, 0 degrees centigrade is going to go to 32 Fahrenheit, or 0 grados centígrados son 32 grados in Fahrenheit. Un kilogramo is 2.2 libras, or 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. And oftentimes you don't have to be exact when you're saying stuff. Maybe you do if you're measuring something out, but maybe you just kind of need a general idea if you're talking about what's the temperature going to be like tomorrow, or how much sand do we need, just to kind of give people a general idea as well. All right, let's take a look at some phrases, and then notice how I took those verbs and then I conjugated or I changed them, trying to keep it in simple forms. But let's take a look here. Lleva tu casco, wear your hard hat or wear your helmet, or lleva tu blank, or I can maybe say lleva el casco, wear the helmet. ¿Qué haces, what are you doing? So this is coming from the verb hacer, to make or to do. So what are you making, what are you doing? Or limpia tu área, clean your area. So if the verb is limpiar, I just drop that R to come up with a command form, limpia tu área. All right, poner is a little bit tricky, so it's just a little bit irregular. So it goes to pon for the command form. Pon la barandal arriba, put the rail up, or pon, put this over there. Pon este allá. Then ten cuidado, be careful, doesn't translate very well. So tener is to have, kind of saying have caution. And again, this one's a little bit irregular. Tener just goes to 10 if you want to tell somebody to have something. All right, ¿dónde está tu jefe? Where is your boss? ¿Dónde está? Where is something? Just a useful phrase. Where is blank? ¿Dónde está? All right, a few more phrases that we'll take a look at here. Corta el contrachapado, cut the plywood. Toma la basura al contenedor, take the garbage to the dumpster or the container. Tienes que estar conectado, you have to be connected or tied off. Or this is just a good phrase to know as well. Tienes que, you have to. And then the second verb you don't have to change. Tienes que, you have to. Usa el acollador, use the lanyard. A couple other words, could also use the cordón. Cordón kind of translates as the big cord. So normally cuerda, la cuerda is the cord, but cordón is the big cord or the lanyard that's going to stop you from falling, or acollador. Necesitas ponerte el chaleco de alta visibilidad. So you need to put on the vest of high visibility, or sometimes if they're a fluorescent green color, maybe you just want to call it the green vest. But notice I'm just saying necesitas, and then the next verb I don't need to change, poner. Necesitas ponerte el chaleco verde. You need to put on the green jacket. Tienes que medir la tabla. You have to measure the board. So notice how that tienes que is just a really useful phrase. You have to. All right, a couple more phrases here. Vamos a hacer el trabajo. Let's do the work. So we can, vamos is a form of ir, to go, but it's very irregular. So I can say vamos a, let's go do something, or let's go to a place. If you just remember that phrase, that we're going to do it, or let's do it. Vamos a, or just vamos by itself can mean let's go. All right, mira, watch out, look. Para el proyecto, stop the project. Es peligroso, it's dangerous. No es seguro, it's not safe. So here, if you maybe know how to say something, You can say it, but if you don't know how to say it, maybe you can say the opposite with it. It's not something. So if it's not dangerous, no es peligroso. Just put no in front of the verb. Or es seguro, it's safe. Or no es seguro, it's not safe. Or if you know how to say to the right, a la derecha, but you can't remember how to say the opposite. If you want to say it's not to the right, no es a la derecha. If you can't remember that word for izquierda, which is kind of tricky, or vice versa. So anyways, just knowing how to make something negative, that actually doubles the amount of things that you can say, because you don't have to know twice the stuff, just how to say the item or not the item, or as in the opposite of that item. All right, puedes ir a la derecha. You can go to the right. Alright, adios, hasta pronto, gracias por mirar. Alright, you can hear those fighter jets flying through in the background. They're getting ready for the air show, or sometimes people say that's the sound of freedom. Alright, gracias por mirar.